There's a specific kind of loneliness that only happens when you're surrounded by millions of people who have it all figured out. It's that quiet panic that hits when you look around and feel like the only person in the room without a sense of purpose. You look around at everyone chasing their dreams and start wondering if you're falling behind. Moving to New York recently, the noise hit me all at once. Walking through the streets of Manhattan, you can sense the ambition. Everyone around you looks completely untouchable, walking fast in their clean, expensive suits. They put on this image that says, I know exactly where I'm going, and I have my whole life figured out. But if you look closely through all the noise and chaos, you'll start to see that many of them don't have it all figured out. Everyone is just performing. We've been conditioned to believe that admitting to not knowing things is a flaw, and that it shows weakness. We nod along to things we don't understand, completely terrified that dropping the act for even a second will expose us. But pretending to know everything is the fastest way to learn nothing. The single most confident thing you can do in a room full of actors is to break the script, kill your ego, and dare to ask dumb questions. We've all been there. The professor finishes a complex problem, looks around, and asks, Are there any questions? The room is silent. All the students avoid making eye contact with the professor and continue scribbling on their papers. There's this tension in the room. Everyone is too scared that asking a question is going to make them look like an idiot. We've been conditioned by this performative pipeline culture to believe that getting ahead means pretending to have your whole life figured out. We treat life like a race where you can never admit to a single flaw, because the moment you do, you will be seen as a failure. But that's all a lie. The moment you stop protecting your ego and pretending to be someone you aren't is the exact moment you start gaining real respect from others. A while ago, I found myself sitting across from an incredibly successful retired doctor. He was someone people would say had already won in the game of life. He started explaining a complex concept to me about healthcare, completely assuming I already knew the basics. But I didn't. In that second, I hit a massive fork in the road. I had two choices. Option 1, I could nod along, smile, and pray that he didn't ask me any follow-up questions. Or, option 2, I could kill my ego right in front of a mentor I desperately wanted to impress and ask my dumb question. I took a breath, stopped in mid-sentence, and just said, Actually, I don't know what you're talking about. Can you explain it to me? There was a pause. He didn't laugh. He didn't look down on me. Instead, he leaned in. His eyes completely lit up. That was the moment I realized a fundamental truth about the world. Experts love teaching. They spend many years learning their art and they want to share it, but they absolutely hate performing for people who aren't willing to appreciate it. By dropping my ego and asking the dumb question, I gained a mentor and a friend, someone who I would go on to learn so much from over the last few years. Going back to the classroom scenario, the next time the teacher asks if there's any questions and that eerie tension emerges again, be the one to raise your hand, ask your dumb question, and look around. You'll see a sigh of relief across everyone's faces. More hands will shoot up immediately right after yours, and the tension completely snaps. You single-handedly can turn a room of insecure actors into a real learning environment. True confidence isn't about having all the answers. It's about being okay with the fact that you don't. That isn't a weakness, that's leadership. To navigate your life, you have to stop relying on getting validation from others. While your life might seem like a work in progress, there are 3 things you can follow to steer you in the right direction. 1. Be honest. If you never lie about what you know, you'll never have to spend energy worrying about being found out. You'll be immune to imposter syndrome because you aren't pretending to be someone you aren't. 2. Be respectful. This means treating everyone with the same level of respect, whether that's your highly successful mentor or the lady working in the dining hall. If you're truly confident with yourself, you won't ever need to bring someone else down to boost your own ego. 3. Be curious. Being the person who is genuinely obsessed with how the world works is the person who will end up learning the most. The world is full of people who are faking it till they make it, only down the line to realize they built a life for a person they don't even want to be. The truth is, you don't need a job title or award to be respected. You don't need to have your whole life figured out right now either. You just need the courage to look at the world and say, I don't know yet, but I'm going to figure it out. Stop pretending to be someone you aren't and start being yourself. Because in a world where everyone is terrified of looking like an idiot, the ones who are brave enough to ask the dumb questions are actually the smartest people in the room.